Hello, 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 everyone. Kim from K&RP here. It is currently -5 Celsius with a -11 wind chill factor, and we have a winter storm warning. Yay, go us! Which means it's 24 Fahrenheit with a 12 for a wind chill factor. Today, I would like to teach you how to make my mopsies. I've had some interest. Hey, Kellyanne, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to make some mopsies today. So I was writing out the pattern. I was looking at the rabbit. Don't know why I was going to say mouse. Guess it could be a mouse, dust mouse, whatever. Look, she's been rolling. I use her to clean up this stuff on my desk. It works great. Anyway, back to the poor little bunny here. Um, so I was looking at her and writing out the pattern kind of as I went along, remembering how I made her because it's been years since I did. Hey, Jean, welcome, welcome. Lurking is good. I usually lurk and work. So I'm going to talk you through how I did it and show you how I did it. I have written out big. Is that backwards? Look, it's backwards on my screen again. Kel, is that backwards? I don't think it's backwards for you guys. It's just backwards for me. Anyway, I've written out the rows in big black marker, and I will explain as I go along. And then after the live, I will actually type up the pattern and I will put it on my Meet Your Creativity. And if I remember, I will put it in the description box below here, just so that there is a written record of how these beasts are made. So I do not follow a gauge when I create things like this. I just use a hook that works with the yarn, that it work. You know what I mean? That it's not too big, not too tight. It just works nice and smooth. Does that make sense? So if you were using crochet cotton and wanted to do a little itty bitty tiny one, amigurumi or whatever they're called, then you would definitely use a smaller hook than this H, which is a size 5. Yes, no? Makes sense? If I am not making sense, please put it in caps and I will stop and try and explain better. Sometimes I just take for granted, like, oh, they know what they're doing. I have to slow down and show you what we're doing. So I am going to be using this Bernat Super Saver yarn. No, not backwards. Good so far. Awesome. So this is Bernat Super Saver. I had this yarn in my stash because whenever I find yarn that will work for kittens, when I make my crochet kittens, I buy it. So I've got a bin called Kitten Colored Yarn. I have tried doing kittens in wild colors. They don't sell. Nobody wants the pinks and blues and whatever kittens. They want the grayish, the beige, the browns, the blacks, something real. So I find real colored stuff. Okay, I don't want this end. I'll tuck that in. So obviously I had used this yarn for something. There is an end here someplace. Oh my goodness, we're going to make a mess even before we start because we all know that that's the way I roll. There we go. So I don't know if you know how to do a magic ring to start. When I first made these guys, I didn't know how to do a magic ring, so I crocheted and joined and did it in the loop, that kind of thing. But now that I know how to do let's move the T away. Now I know how to do a magic ring. I don't even know if it was invented when I first learned how to crochet, to be honest with you. Yeah, people like natural and earth colors. I have a problem with natural colors personally. But that's me. So instead of doing the loop that we would normally do to start a crochet pattern, which would be this, right? You have a slip loop that you can pull back. We're going to do a magic ring. So you're going to take your yarn and you hold the end between your thumb and forefinger, wrap it around, grab it again with your thumb and forefinger, pointer finger, whatever you want to call it. This one here, right next to your thumb. So you've got a circle. Now you're going to take your crochet hook, put it under the circle, pull up a loop of the loose stuff, and then pull it through, and then make that tight. So it's kind of like chaining across the loop. Did that make sense? Do you need to see it again? I can show it again. It made sense? Okay. So then it's holding it together and it's holding that loose end of yarn. So then you do a chain stitch and then you start to work. So the pattern is you do the magic ring. Hi, Sherry. Welcome, welcome. We're making Mopsies today. You do the magic ring. You chain one. I guess I should put a one in there. So row one, we do 6 single crochet in the ring. So we'll do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now that looks like any row of crochet that you would ever do. Now we use the magic ring. We'll make this loop big so we don't lose it. We take the end of the yarn and we pull it tight. And that gives us a really nice tight center to work on. Does this make sense? Because we're going to be working around. He has worked in rounds. And I join every round. I don't just work in a continual circle so that you don't get a line. I do it this way so that I actually know what row I'm on, etc. So this is row 1. It's got 6 single crochets. Every row we are going to join it with a slip stitch into the first one we did. So if we count back, let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is the one that we need to go into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to do a slip stitch into that 6th single crochet away from us. And that is row 1 complete. Do your chain for your step up. And you can pull this again if it starts to loosen up on you. You give it a little tug. Now, I've done my chain 1, step up. That was row 1. We're going on to row 2. It is an increase row. So what we're going to do is 2 single crochet in each single crochet around. So we did our step up chain 1. So we go right into the one that we joined in because that was our first single crochet, correct? Let's get this yarn out of my way. You're on the wrong side, yarn. I have to go behind you. That's okay. So then we're going to do 2 single crochets. 1, 2 into the next stitch. The next stitch, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in that one. The third stitch, 2 single crochets. Fourth, 2 single crochets. Am I going too fast? And can you see what I'm doing? 5 and 6. No chain stitches in the row at all, just solid single crochets. So we should have 12 on this row. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we are going to join it in that 12th single crochet with a slip stitch and a chain 1. So now we have 2 rows, 12 single crochets. Does this make sense? I need to know if it makes sense because I haven't typed out the pattern yet. I was just looking at Mopsie and going by what I used to do this way. So I know it makes sense to me. I need to know that it makes sense to other people. Thank you. Row 3, again, an increase row. But this one is different. We're going to single crochet in the first single crochet and 2 single crochet in the next single crochet. So it's getting bigger. So that will give us 18 around. So we did the chain 1, which is the step up. We go into the first single crochet that we joined in, and we do 1 single crochet. Then we do 2 single crochets. And we're working under both loops on the stitches, right? We're working under both loops as usual. So I did 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Is this making sense? And 1 and 2. Hi. How are you, Sherry? 2, 1, and 2, and 1. No, the type of yarn does not matter. You just need a crochet hook that works for you and the yarn, so it's not splitting the yarn or it's not too big. I don't follow a guideline as to the tension because it's just a toy sort of thing. So it doesn't matter what kind of yarn. If you're using crochet cotton and making a really, really small one, then you would obviously use a smaller crochet hook. So was that a 1 or a 2? I think that I just did a 1. And now we'll do 2. You're welcome. It's what you have on hand. Like you can use pink, you can use green. I'm just using this because I find that people like natural. No problem. Vacuum's good. So now we're going to count back and make sure that we have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right. So then we're going to join it and chain up. That's row 3. So it's a nice flat little circle. You could use that when you're doing a bottom of a basket kind of thing. It keeps it flat when you do that kind of an increase with it. Okay, let's try and turn this page and find out. Okay, row 4. We're going to single crochet in each single crochet around. Again, it will be 18 single crochet. We've already done our chain, which is our step up, and we'll do 18 around. So this is now going to start to give it shape. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hi, Laura. 15, 15, 16, 17, 18. We are making, so we're going to join, slip, stitch, and join. We're making dust bunnies today, Laura. This is Mopsie. She lives on my desk. I use her for mopping up little bits of paper and yarn and thread, and everything gets stuck in her hair. Then I take her and shake her out. When I first made her, I had a friend that kept a very, very clean house. I had kids. She didn't have kids. So, you know, when you've got kids, you've got stuff, you've got cookie crumbs. There's always something to clean up after. So her house was always so very, very clean. So I invented these little dust bunnies. I left one behind her bathroom door and I threw one under her bed. Just because, just because. And that was over 30 years ago. Okay, so we're up to row 4. Me too. Okay, so we've done row 4. I will be writing this out and putting it in my Facebook group, Meet Your Creativity. I will put it in the description box once I have it typed out. This is my practice for teaching online, a pattern that I have designed because I want to do some for Defy. So, row 4. Now, row 5 is the pig of a row. It's the hardest row. Yes, I did slip, stitch, and chain one. And I'll be honest with you. If you lose a stitch and you've only got 17, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. As long as you've got enough to do what we're doing. So, we're not going to pull it back because we're missing a stitch. So I slip stitched, I didn't chain one. Now I'm going to chain one. So we're going to single crochet in the first 12 single crochet. So right where you joined is the first one. 1, 2. 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. Kel, let me know when you've got your 12 because I'm thinking you're working with me. No problem. No problem. There might be a little bit of silence when I'm counting and stitching, but that's... Okay, now this is the ears that we're doing. So, single crochet in front loop of the next stitch. So you know how to tell which is the front loop and the back loop, right? You just did that on the pattern that you just did. Okay, so you crochet in the front loop for this. 1 single crochet in the front loop. Now you're going to chain 11. Let me know when you got it. Or if anybody else is playing along, let me know. Okay, so now the second chain from hook, you're going to do a half double crochet. And you're going to do that down the rest of the chain. So you'll have 10 half double crochet along the chain. We're making ears. Wait. Okay. I can wait. We only used a chain 1 for the step up for this. Yep. Normally it's 2, but this one we're doing 1 because we want a rounded half double crochet. Is you pull up a loop and you go through all 3. So it's yarn over, pull up a loop, and all 3. Wrapping through 3. Yep. And you do that right along the row, so you'll have 10 of them. It's okay. Don't worry about it. 1, 2. It's okay. We're just going to carry on. It's not a crunch pattern. You know what I mean? And if he's a little bit wonky, it's going to give him a little bit more character. This is a no sweat. We're not sweating it. Okay, so you've got however many. Now, you see where your single crochet was on the row that you're working on? You're going to go into the side of it and do a slip stitch. Got it? I don't know if I can, I'll stand. You got it? Okay. Now we're going to go into the front loop of the next stitch and do a single crochet. And we have an ear. They're very long ears. So if one's a little bit shorter, it's okay. So now we're going to, yeah, I know. Is your cat going to be stealing these? I'm sure my kid's cats. Yeah, Wonky Bunny. Mopsie, like really? Come on. It's not. Okay, so we did that single crochet in the front loop. Now the next 2 stitches, we're going to single crochet under both loops. Yes, no, done? Yep, okay. Now we're going to repeat the ear because we can't have just a one-eared bunny, right? So we're going to go under the front loop, single crochet, chain 11, half double crochet back like we did for the other ear. So your second chain from hook, half double crochet, and then along. Oh, yarn over, Kim. Wait, I'm waiting. That's okay. They're equal at least. All is fine. Slip stitch in the side of the single crochet that you started the chain in. Single crochet in the front loop of the next single crochet. And we're joining it. We got the face and ears of a bunny. I paint the faces on. That's why I suggested having paint. You can embroider them. You could do whatever you want. You could use hot glue and do eyes, whatever you like. I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay, so we joined, we chain 1. Now we're going to single crochet in 12, both loops. Okay. Now we're going to go behind the ear and we're going to work in the 2 back loops. Waiting. Sherry, are you following along? Am I going too fast? Okay, so now we're going to look for those back loops and we're going to single crochet in each of the 2 back loops. So we're behind the ear. Okay, Sherry. Sherry, do you read patterns? Or do you do it with the diagrams? I'm just trying to get a feel for what people would like if I'm putting my patterns online. Okay. So you've got the 2 behind. Now we're going to go into the 2 in front and single crochet, or the 2 between the ears. Use both loops. Then we're going to go behind the 2, the back loops. Okay, you can read patterns? Awesome. And then you join it. So you've got something that looks kind of like this. I'm going to tuck that other end in. So it keeps it closed behind the ear. Now we're going to go row 6 was the one that we just did, and the back loops behind the ear, and all the other ones, that was row 6. So 7 to 10, which is 4 rows, we're just going to do 18 crochet around, or whatever, however many stitches you've got. As long as it's not like 12 stitches, you're good. If you've got 20, do 20. No problems, no sweat, no stress. So the chain 1, which was on row 6, and we're going to go 18 or whatever. Awesome. Oh, okay. The worst of the pattern is that row 5 because it's confusing. I'll write it out. We're not doing any more half double crochet, Kellyanne. We're good. You're good. So when you're doing this row, make sure that you go into the ones behind the ear. It'll start smoothing out now. Lost my hook. There we go. Nope. Split the yarn. Slip stitch join and chain 1 step up. 3 more rows of 18. I'm waiting. Okay, so 3 more rows. I can keep crocheting. Okay, so now I have 2 more rows. Do you have 2 more rows, Kel? Yes. Slip stitch, chain 1 after each row. Awesome. You still need that step up. Okay, so we've got 2 more rows now. I don't know why these ears look so much longer than these ears do. Aside from the fact that that yarn's smaller, like a thinner yarn, It's like they look so much bigger, but they're not. Okay, one more row, Kel. Okay, last row for this part. Slip stitch and join, chain 1. Okay, so you've got that. So that was row 7 to 10. What happened to my row 11? Oh, now rows 11 to 13 are decrease rows. So I'll show you how it's done. And we're going to decrease this row first, and then we're going to stuff it and finish decreasing to finish them off. Okay, so I've got my chain 1, right? So I go into my first stitch to do a regular crochet. I will pull up a loop. I will leave that on the hook. I will go into the next crochet, pull up a loop, and then go all 3. So it's now 1 stitch from 2, right? And that's a decrease. So into this first stitch, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and then off. Okay, and we're going to do that all the way around. We should have 9 single crochets. And then it would be join and chain 1 as normal. You slip stitch chain 1, but pull up a big loop so that you don't lose that. Can you guys just hang on a sec? I need to run upstairs really quickly, and I'll be right back. If you've got stuffing, you can stuff your little guy. You don't want to make him too fat and hard, but you can work on stuffing him, and I will be back in just a moment. Hang on, guys. I just have to yell. He's going to be messaging you, Ron. Sorry, guys. My grandson just got in an accident. He's fine. His car isn't. I just had to go and let Ron know that he needs to deal with what's going on. Okay. You know what? It's okay, Cal. All's good. The ears are definitely floppy, you know. So, how well do you have your? Oh, it's your little guy stuffed. I'm just gonna add a little bit more. All right. So now we are going to do another row of decrease. Actually, we're going to do a couple more rows of decrease because he's done. They're like little bullet things, right? Until you add the floofs. So again, we're going to decrease the same way. Single crochet. You pull up one loop. Next stitch, pull up a loop and decrease 3. As it gets smaller, I find that if I keep a finger inside, I know that's kind of rude, but it works. And you will have one left at the end. I know. So you just do one crochet in that one that's left. And now I don't bother doing, yeah, I know, really, where's the gloves? So I'm not going to even bother joining when it gets this small. I'm just going to decrease until there's really nothing there. You just kind of close it up the best you can so that, you know, you gotta, and then you just finish it off like you normally would. Pull up a piece of, chop it off, pull it through. Uh-oh. What's up? Your finger slipped? Sorry. And then this end and stuff here, I just put my crochet hook through probably around his neck area, and I would pull it out. It is a tough stitch at the very end. You do what you can. I mean, seriously, if you want to end them off and just take a needle and whip stitch it closed, pull it tight, you know, running stitch, pull tight, that works too. Then you just grab it and pull the end in and hide it in the Fibrefill, and you get this little bullet bunny. Okay, you got him? He's done. So now, you shape the face however, you just kind of squeeze them into place, give them a little bit of a nose. I paint pink up the insides of the ears. I don't want to do that right now because he's going to be wet and we still have this to do. So that's the last steps. Paint the ears, paint a nose, black dots for eyes, a little bit of white on, black mouth, little white teeth. But that's the last steps. So now this stuff, let's put this Fibrefill away. Is about 5-inch lengths of yarn. So I'm just going to take an approximate 5 inches and cut it. And then I'm just going to do a whole bunch of them, right? They don't have to be exact. They don't have, this is no sweat. No sweat. No sweat. Just, you're going to need quite a few. And it's nice to have the bulkier yarn because you're going to want to untwist it so that it's really raggy looking. So, Kel, is this going to be a cat toy or Stormy's not going to get any chance? I don't know how many I have here, but I'm just going to trim them and we'll get a start just so that you know what I'm doing with them. You're only going to cut one end. You want the 5-inch length because you're going to fold them in half like this. Oh, maybe that's longer than 5 inches. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to. You just want it on your desk? Your cat won't steal it? Okay, so you want about 5-inch lengths. You're going to fold it in half. You're going to figure out. I go down along the sides. Maybe, what do I have across? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 stitches across, so I'm doing 12 lines of this. So I just kind of stick it between 2 stitches like that. TV project? Sorta. Okay. So then you're just going to do it like you would put stuff on a tag, right? Pull up a loop, pull it through, and do it. And you do it all the way along the rows, all the way. This is the boring part. So this is the part where you could even get creative. You could do a rainbow, rainbow bunny. As I say, I just every stitch kind of thing, you just pull and loop. Pull it tight though. And by the time it's all done and unfrayed, unraveled, you've got the frumpy part. So for this part, we can chat and visit. And what you working on? Aside from Sherry, what are you working on? Sit not, sir. Yeah. Whichever works for you, Cal. I mean, if you wanted to double it up, by all means, I don't find a need for it. And I am going in the row behind the ears. Not sure exactly what row it is. But once you start doing it, you're going to catch on where you want them. And as I say, they don't have to be exactly 5 inches. I think when I did them, I probably even wrapped them around my cigarette package, to be honest with you. Sounds like something that I would have done way back when I did that sort of thing. Okay, Kellyanne. See you, see ya. Thanks for visiting. Thanks for playing along. And you'll have to post a picture of him when he's done. Look at that. Did it in 51 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, it takes a little bit to do this fringy part. But as you say, sit in front of the TV or whatever. Something different to do, relaxing. And it doesn't all have to be done in one day. I'm caught on my stuffing. Okay, shove the stuffing back in. I figured that with it being Easter weekend, if people wanted to do bunnies for Easter or whatever, now would be a good time to show him off, her off, whatever she is, it is. I think that's a she. I'm not sure what this one's going to be by the time I'm done. Thanks for coming, Cal. Talk to you later. All right. All right, all right. Laura, are you here? I know that you're cleaning. I've been trying to clean too. All it's doing is getting me in more trouble. Although Sunday, I did manage to get some organizing done, thanks to the ladies. Nobody here to talk to me? Okay, okay. All right. So I'll do a couple more rows online here. And see how he goes. Not going to get the whole thing done online because I'm sure this is going to be really boring for you. Hey, Pam. Welcome, welcome. I was teaching how to do mopsies. I'm going to put the pattern. I'll write it out because I made that one up as I went along, right? So I kind of remembered how to do it. So I'm just doing the raggy part on him now. Oh, you've been watching? Awesome. How's the scarf coming? Is it just about done? And you've got your kids home for the week? Okay. It's hard to work on something that size when you've got kids underfoot. So what have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think one more on that side I've got. Yeah, we've got a snowfall warning, like a winter storm warning happening. It's like, seriously, come on. I'm done. I'm just done with snow. So done with snow. Okay, so I've got my first row of fringe on. Doesn't look like much, but we'll work on the second row. I have to tell you guys a funny story. I was watching Lori Paint Girly last night, and she was doing some tape transfers and working on a little bead journal thing that she's making. And I don't know exactly why, but she started singing a song. Now I can't remember the line, but it turned into an earworm for me. I remember. Now it's going to earworm me again. Um, would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar. That one. I'm not going to sing for you guys. You wouldn't appreciate it. Believe me. So I woke up with that silly song on my mind. And I went grocery shopping. And it was still bugging me, still bugging me, still bugging me. And I've got a friend. We've been friends for well over 30 years. Our kids grew up together. They were besties in school. But, now they're leading their own lives. But she's still my best friend. And we always used to, if we had an earworm or whatever, we would phone the other person, sing the line of the song, and hang up. And by that way, you get rid of it, right? So I hadn't seen her online, so I didn't know exactly what was happening. So I didn't really want to phone. So I just texted her the lines and said, something about the earworm, and I've given it away. Things are good now. But she was at Costco. She messaged me back right away saying she was at Costco, and she called me a nasty name and cursed me out. And I just laughed because it's what we do. No offense between us. When she gets home, she messages me and she says, "It didn't stick. Ha ha ha." She said, "I guess I didn't know the song." I says, "Well, did it stick in your dad's mind?" Because her dad lives with her. So I just normally assumed that he was shopping with her. And she said, "No." And then I guess she hadn't really asked him, because I got a message back from her saying, "Oh, now he's singing. I had to shush him because I don't want it stuck." So I did get her. It was good. Yeah, I really like those tape transfers. Out of all the stuff I've played with, I have never done the tape transfer thing. So it's on my list of play today once I've got this bunny done, because I'm going to count this as part of my 100-day creative project. And as I say, I'm going to get this pattern written out legible, and I will put it on my Facebook group, and I will post it below here. And I hoped that the way I explained it, it worked, that people will be able to follow it. I'm always available to talk you through if you don't know what the heck I did. But I'd like to do, as I said, some videos for Defy with specific things that they could use for fundraising videos. And I need to know that my teaching online is working, that I'm clear enough, I enunciate clearly, and I'm not overly garbled. And so this is my test. The other ones will be pre-recorded now that I sort of know how to do that. Sort of. Yeah. Went grocery shopping this morning. Hokey Dinah. 5 pounds of hamburger, like ground beef, $33. I was gobsmacked. I didn't buy any, but wow. Absolutely crazy. 5 chicken breasts were $32. It's a good thing we don't have to eat meat every day. I can get away with lentils or chickpeas or something like that, some sort of beans. I don't know how single family, like single income people with kids who are paying daycare and everything are going to afford to buy food as well. Do you know what daycare prices are like down there, Pam? I guess it would vary from area to area too. I have a friend who has 3 kids in daycare, and she pays close to $90 a day for daycare. You have to make really good coin in order to afford daycare, especially when my kids were little, living out here and having to pay a sitter plus my gas to the city. No, I didn't think you put kids in daycare, but I was just wondering if you knew what the rates were like there. But I know that I had a friend, we would swap taking care of each other's kids. And then because my husband worked shift work, quite often he would watch the kids during the day. Yeah, I was for the most part too, Pam. It just didn't pay for me to pay a sitter and my gas to the city because there really aren't that many jobs out here. I liked being a stay at home mom. I liked knowing that my kids had somebody to come home to and dump their day on. And, oh, I'm not doing these equal. My bunny isn't equal. I have to do a couple more on that side. Guess that's something else you need to watch. Because the ears would be, oh, you know what? These ones are probably way. I've got furry bunny belly here. These guys are coming out. Maybe. I suppose if you wanted to, you could do the whole thing raggy like this. But I do not want him all raggy because I like the way he sits flat on the desk. I suppose that yep, I do. I have to admit, I liked being a stay at home mom. Did my garden, did all my canning, sewed their clothes. It was just so much easier for me then. Oh, okay. This side still needs a couple more. Yeah, I didn't have a clue about prices because I mean, I don't have little ones anymore. But just hearing her saying, $90 a day for looking after her kids, and it's like, wow, no clue. No clue. One more. Let's do another one here. Do your kids help out around the house, Pam? Do you give them chores? My kids always had chores. Sorry, just answering my daughter again. Poor kid. He needs his vehicle because he has a job and he works construction, so he needs to be able to haul his tools to and from the job sites. So he's driving her vehicle, and she has a rental vehicle. Yeah, I can understand all of the above, Pam. Very frustrating. My thing is, leaving their dishes. Like, come on. It's 3 steps to the kitchen. You can take your dishes to the kitchen if you're, got a drink or whatever in the living room. Pick up after yourselves. I mean, I was so frustrated. I had girls, right? So, and neither of them were real clothes conscious or anything. They weren't girly girls by any means, but they did like to wear certain shirts with certain pants, etc., right? That it was just whatever. So there was one day that my daughter was going through her I don't even remember how old she was. Maybe grade 2-ish. And she was going through her clothes. She tried on her shirt, didn't like the shirt, turfed it, took it off, turfed it under the bed. It went. Same thing with the next shirt, same thing with the next shirt. Found the shirt she liked, decided she didn't like the pants, started the same kind of thing with the pants, and just leaving stuff under the bed. And I figured, I'm not cleaning that up. So when she ran out of clothes a couple of days later, she learned how to do laundry because I said, there's no way in Hades I am going under your bed looking for your clothes. So she could reach the dials on the washing machine, and she learned to do her own clothes because just done. Oh, I like the sound of breaking glass, Pam, so I can relate to that for sure. And then I bought Corel. It wasn't as satisfying, if you know what I mean. There, now he's starting to look like a Mopsie. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Stay out of the kitchen. Oh, guess I need to get some more. I mean, with the littlest ones, you can understand. But the teenage ones, the kids, come on. My sister used to get really frustrated with my nephew because he wouldn't change the cat litter. So I said, put the cat litter box under his bed. He started changing it pretty soon, like pretty fast after that. Poor cat, was smushed under the bed, but only took a couple of days. Yeah, the adult children. Now that they don't live here, they're much better because, I guess they have to do it at home and they've gotten in the habit of cleaning up after themselves. Yep. Yeah, so even like all the way till the time they moved out, from the time they could do their own laundry at grade 3-ish, grade 4-ish, I stopped doing their laundry. They learned how to take care of their clothes. They got very, very good at taking care of their clothes. Didn't end up with any pink underwear or blue underwear. I think they get a little snarked when I've got the grandkids here and I let the grandkids get away with things that I would never let them get away with. But they don't live here. Like as a rule, my grandkids don't live with me, so I have to feel needed. That's the only time I get to feel needed. And I mean, even like my grandsons, they finished their meal. My grandsons and granddaughter, they finish their meal. They'll take everybody's plates from the table and they'll take them into the kitchen, rinse them in the sink, stack them on the counter. They won't put them in the dishwasher, but they'll rinse them and stack them on the counter. And I appreciate that. But if they stay here for a weekend, they'll do the taking the dishes thing away, but they won't take their glasses out of the living room. Like if they've had some water or whatever, and they're watching movies. Yeah, I'll be honest. I will get glass at the thrift store, and I will put it in a bucket and hit the bucket with a hammer, just for the sound of breaking glass. But then too, I throw the glass in my rock tumbler, and so it looks like beach glass. But the sound and yeah, I get ya. Love the sound of breaking glass. Yeah, clean up, especially because I'm one of those barefoot people. I love to be barefoot. I don't like having broken glass on my floor because I know darn well I'm the one that's going to step in it. I think I learned to love the sound of breaking glass after working in restaurants and hearing somebody drop a tray of glasses or dishes. And oh, I'm sure it frightened the kids. I was one of those yelly mums. I have to admit it. I yelled at my kids. But they knew I was really upset with them when I started talking very quietly or whispering so that they had to pay attention to what I was saying. I guess it really got their attention though, Pam. Really. As long as they don't think it's okay if they do it. Oh, we're starting to drag other ones in there. Stop that. Don't like how flat his nose is. Just going to pull it out a little. There we go. That's better. I guess your dogs live outside? Your dog and pup live outside? Oh no. Yep. Well, at least he's asking and not helping himself, right? Indoor outdoor dogs? Yeah, mine were too. Mine were too. Oh, I'm way under. I figured out how to show you how to do those picots, Pam. How to explain it better. I'm sorry if I frustrated you on that one. And the way you're doing it's working for your scarf. Ah. Is he a fussy eater? My neighbor's son is on the spectrum, and some days he doesn't want to eat meat. So, no meat products, Mom. No meat products. See, he's just about done. Just a couple more rows to go. Then I get to do the face. Doesn't take long. Yay, Cal. Welcome back. See, I've got about half of them done. I think we're all on the spectrum, Pam. To be honest. I know that haven't been diagnosed, but I'm definitely ADHD. We were talking about the beautiful sound breaking glass makes, Kel. You have little white pom-poms? You going to put a tail on them? Ah, yes, for the bunny tail. See, I haven't, this guy doesn't have a tail. He's got fuzz. Whole thing's fuzz. I could put a tail on. I guess it too, you know. I just showing the basic pattern. What you do with it after is totally up to you. Totally up to you. You could use a real little pink one for his nose too. That would be very cute. You could put Google eyes on them. But again, if you think that maybe your cat might steal them, Google eyes probably aren't a great idea. Oh, excellent, Pam. That must be a relief too, you know? When you're working on a project and you run out of something, and I know I get very frustrated when I run out of stuff too. I'm the same way. I know I've got it, but where is it? But we all know what kind of a wreck of a area I have. I'm jealous that Laura's cleaning up. I was going to clean today. Oh, Cal, I told you I was down to 8 envelopes. Fabulous. What I'm doing with these now, I took stuff that is chopped up. Oh, no, Pam. No. I can send you a picture. Believe me. I've got these things. So I've been putting in things like unfinished corner tucks and all those little bits of colored paper. And so I've got them in here. So next time I do a use day afternoon, I'm going to roll the dice. You guys are going to pick a number, and I'm just going to pull one of these things out. And whatever's in there, I have to deal with it. Make it into something. So I've got fish. I've got corner tucks. I've got hearts. I know. I've got little colored bits of paper. I was working on, because I had all that construction paper, I had about this depth. I was making big tickets. I've got belly bands. So that's going to, and we could do it with prompt cards. Or you guys can just throw ideas at me, but I'm going to pull one and deal with it. Or maybe you'll say, do an ATC. And so then I have to do ATCs with whatever's in the bin, or a journal page, or something. So, yeah. This takes up a lot more yarn than if you were just doing a naked bunny, obviously. But this is what gives them the cuteness. And really, if I'd have gone into my snippet bin, like my yarn bin, I probably, not necessarily this color, but I would have some natural colors, maybe some browns and stuff that I could have put in there. So, Kel, what I did too was I took my handle end of the crochet hook. You've got the big thick handles. Probably if you used end of a paintbrush or something hard enough that you could just put it under the first row where we started and just pull up a little bit and give them a bit of a pointy nose. Your bunny's yellow, nice and sunshine bunny. It's a Sunny bunny. I have Mopsie and you have Sunny. Okay, I'll just go back to looping yarn now. Are you going to use it as a dust bunny for picking up greeblies off your desk? Oh, I got a big chunk of stuffing with that. Well, maybe you're going to have to make one and put some catnip or something in just for him. Him. I'd made those kittens, and my grandsons had taken some, and their cat has now stolen them all. The kids don't mind because they're teenagers now, but all the kittens have kittens of their own. Okay, Kim, what row are you working on here? Oh, I was adding to the row behind. Okay. So I'm going to have a really heavy spot. It doesn't matter, right? Guess maybe I should have counted, and that way I could have given somebody an idea of how much they would need. But if you're just doing it out of scrap yarns, it would be really cute too. Doesn't have to be all one color. See, that's my oh wait, come on. Must have something other than what I needed. My sales mentality coming out again, where I had to have all the not, colorful kittens. They just didn't sell. Pink and green. That's cool. That'd be very pretty. See, if you use Google Eyes or Safety Eyes or whatever, you could give her some long eyelashes or fun foam for the teeth. Give them real buck teeth. Could have a whole cluster of crazy bunnies. Was this a nice change from doing your Afghan? Is your Afghan done, Kel? I like little projects like this that take an afternoon. Oh, I might have to go. No, that's all behind the ears. I guess I just need to raffle it. 4 more. Four more. Nice, nice. Do you have that herringbone stitched down yet, Kel? Did you manage to get that figured out for tonight? Nice. Oh, look, there's a big bald spot. He had a comb over, guys. I don't think it really matters because once he's unraveled, like frayed out the yarn a bit. Oh, look. That I think it would have filled in anyway. And I don't know how much yarn this takes. I guess, it varies. Thanks, Jean. Something different, something different. The original ones had a purpose. These ones, seriously though, those little bits on your desk, those are glued down, but they get picked up pretty good by the bits of yarn. Don't want glue on them. And the really cool thing is, once you shake them up, you can throw them in the washing machine, right? Or you could hand wash. Totally up to you. If people still hand wash these days, I know I do some things. Hope we're not boring you too much, Jean. I just kind of thought, because a few people really liked Mopsie, that I wanted to do a video on how to do Mopsie. And because I want to do some pre-recorded videos, I need to get my teaching skills back into some sort of something. So figured I would do that. And with Easter coming up, I didn't know if anybody wanted to do a few little Easter bunnies. Working on your bee journal. That's cool. Like Lori's? A bit different than Lori's? Same kind of idea? I have a couple of journals that I have to work on. I have too many projects, and I admit it. Don't let my kids hear it. But I admit it. Oh, from my porch prints. They have some lovely kits. Lovely, lovely kits. I have never used a digital kit. I think it's mainly because I have an inkjet printer and the ink is not water fast. So if I wanted to do something really fun and funky with it, it would smudge. Pam, maybe when your kids are back at school, we can have another crochet and I will walk you through the picots again, now that I've figured out where it went wrong in showing you how to do them. Yeah, I'm really trying hard not to purchase anything, says she who spent so much money on envelopes just to organize bits, right? But supply wise, I have so much, so darn much stuff that my other thing is I think that if I got a kit, I would be one of those ones that I would start it and decide that yeah, I've been really good, really good about purchasing or not purchasing supplies lately. I have probably 80 journal pages folded in half waiting to be decorated. Of course, there are various things, calendars, and oh, still need a few more. Crazy. Um, Calendars and various, like, not necessarily magazine pages, but maps. Yeah. Anyway, I've got a whack load of pages. All I got to do is decorate them. Okay, I think I've got way lots here. But if you cut too much, you just go back and you look for bald spots. I have. You're in Canada? Cool. Me too. Whereabouts? I'm in Manitoba. Oh, didn't cut that one. Yeah, I've been looking at all the Temu stuff. And the wonderful hauls people have got, with the stamps and the little printed bits. But I don't even use scrapbook paper if I can get away with it. I don't know what it is, but I don't feel that the work is as much mine. 40 minutes from Michigan border? Okay. I'm in southeast Manitoba. We're expecting a blizzard right now. It's supposed to start this afternoon. But I don't see anything yet. Mind you, I'm in the basement and can't see anyway. But yeah, I have a snowman journal I have to finish, 2 cat journals. I've got two flower kind of journals for the 5 that I've got going. I've got multitudes just on my desk where I have the pages in the books and haven't done anything with them. I do know where London, Ontario is. I'm probably about 40 minutes away from Sherry. Maybe. So, aside from journals, Jean, what do you like to make? Yeah, I'm in a small town too. I like the small town. I like being able to walk into the store and people know you and even the next town, walking into the store, and people know you, that like at the hardware store or the bank or the grocery store. I like that. I really do. All right, I think my guy is haired. My hairy hair. I have. Hey, Don, welcome, welcome. Just making dust bunnies. Exactly. Exactly, Don. Oh, I know that. Ours has grown a fair bit. We've probably got 3,000 people here now, maybe more close to 2,500. When we first moved out here, there was only 700 people, and we were thrilled when it reached 1,500. But now it's really turned into a bedroom community for Winnipeg. I was asked to do a shabby chic page for somebody, Jean. Oh, Hazel Ridge is a nice area. We don't have any traffic lights. Awesome, Jean. I can't do shabby chic. I have tried and tried, and because I love the vibrant colors, I used to sell my stuff too. I sold it at a museum in Steinbach. It's a Mennonite Heritage Village museum. So everything had to go before the board to see if it could be sold there. So I could sell things like little crocheted toys. Um, I could have done journals if my journals take me forever to make, but I did tags and greeting cards, lots of crocheted stuff. Your ex's family live out there, Heel Ridge? You had a booth in a big art shop. I had a store in the early 2000s. I did a lot of folk art then, like painted wood things, sold a lot of painted candles and painted toilet seats. And then I did a lot of craft fairs. But that's cool, a booth in a big art shop. Yeah, my store was like that. I had people there. It was more on consignment. They didn't want booths per se. They would just bring in bits and bits. But I had a variety, everything from denim, patchwork denim jackets to clothes to really wonderful paintings, lots of sketches, jewelry. I do have a lot of stuff because I used to quilt, I used to carve. I would still quilt if my sewing machines worked, but all three of them are down and I was going to get them fixed. And it's like, okay, you've got so many other stuff. Thanks, Cal. Paint on saws. Ah, nice. I haven't painted on saws because my husband doesn't go through very many of them. I have done milk cans. I've done murals. I've done jewelry. I've done like wire wrapping, that kind of thing. Lots of paintings. I've done everything from pours to gel plates to, yeah, recycling places would probably have them. My husband doesn't thrift, and that's not anything I really thought of when I was thrift storing back then. That's I did so much more when I had the kids. And okay, so now I'm starting to unravel the yarn a bit. It's starting to look a little bit more flopsy. And then I was working at our local thrift store, which, secondhand shop, whatever you want to call it. And I was bringing home far too much paper and things and broken jewelry. Oh my goodness. I was buying necklaces that were all various sizes of chain. I've got enough chain to last me I don't know how long. And then I do leather work, like mucklucks and things. So I do beading. Yeah, I have stuff. Yeah, COVID was a big one. See, yeah, Dawn, the reason this one got made was I had a friend whose house was very, very clean. She didn't have kids. I had kids, and I always felt that she was judging me. Whatever. She used to Windex her dustpan. Loved the lady, but even that was just a little bit too much for me. So I created these guys, and when I was visiting her one day, I left one behind her bathroom door and I threw one under her bed. She was not amused. And but we grew apart because I moved out of the city and she didn't want to be driving highway all the time to visit, and I didn't have the gas to go to the city all the time. Single income. I would, if she was still talking to me, that would be cool, but we lost track of each other. This guy's probably 30 something years old. She got married and her husband was abusive, so she went away for a while. I don't know if she's back in Winnipeg, but I too do need someone to come and help organize. The ladies talked and visited me while I organized those blue folders that I had out earlier. I used to have them so that I could put my bits and pieces in, but I couldn't find my bits and pieces. So then I found these envelopes and I fell in love with them because they've got such lovely big windows. So they visited with me while I transferred all this stuff on the weekend because these ladies are lovely. My mom wasn't the greatest either for housekeeping. Like, I wasn't trained in how to keep a house. You know what I mean? You know how some kids are absolutely trained to do things? By the time I could um was supposed to do dishes, my dad bought a dishwasher. I was usually the one mowing the lawn, that kind of thing. I really didn't have much to do with housework. I failed home ec in school. And I find that absolutely hilarious because one of my jobs that I've had is teaching people how to cook. So, yeah. Plus, I've had my own restaurant. I just find life funny. Gotta have fun in your life. You were at Lori's thing last night. She gave me an earworm with Would You Like to Swing on a Star? I woke up with that song going through my head. So I had to message her on her channel. Thank her for the earworm. She's got a beautiful voice, though. Yeah, I am who I am. I can look myself in the eye in the mirror, and that's what counts. Yep, exactly. Well, I've been crocheting since, well, properly crocheting since I was 9. My grandmother taught me how to do the chain stitch when I was about 6, so all my stuffed animals had crochet chain necklaces. Yeah, I'm sick of cleaning, sick of cooking. Now I've always bulk cooked so that I would have stuff in the freezer, and lately it's been such a blessing to just be able to pull something out and not have to muck about in the kitchen for a couple of hours. We eat a lot of homemade soup. I cook darn near everything from scratch. Make all my own soups, except for Campbell's mushroom soup, because sometimes it's just easier to open up a can and throw that in the casserole. But that's really the only canned soup I buy. Make my own baked beans. Not enough hours in the day. Yeah, cooking for two sucks. It does. Although my grandsons will phone and invite themselves for supper. My oldest one lives on his own now, so he comes for supper and takes all the leftovers home, which also is a nice thing. I don't know how to cook small. I really don't. Although I have to say too, I did buy an induction stove. My last stove died, and I figured I would get an induction stove because I could still use my cast iron on the glass top, which I couldn't do with other glass top stoves. But I can't use my big restaurant pots. Well, I guess I can now because I bought one of those adapter plates. But like my 15-quart pot, my 24-quart pot, I don't use those anymore. Unless it's canning season, I guess I'll be able to use that for canning season. Yeah, I don't know. I know that my aunt, after, her kids were gone and her husband passed, that was one of her big things was, yeah, I'll just have cereal or toast. Sometimes if I make chicken, I'll cook 6 chicken breasts and throw them all in the freezer. You use your cast iron on your glass top? I was told that I couldn't use it because it would scratch. That's interesting. Because I had one of those ring burner stoves until the year before. I had to replace my stove. It was the middle, really recently. No problem, Don. We're just blathering and talking about cooking for two and using cast iron on a glass top stove. Pam says she uses hers all the time, and I was told I couldn't use it. So I'm confused, but that's nothing new. So I just have to paint the face on, and this one will be done. You have had. Yeah, I don't know what I would do without my cast iron. I'm old. I've been using cast iron since forever. Food tastes better in cast iron, doesn't it? Have you noticed that? Or is it just me? Oh, gas stove. Okay. I don't have a gas stove. Okay. We've been here since 88. Well, I can now. I've got the induction stove, so I can use the cast iron on that. So that's a good thing. Awesome, awesome. Well, folks, once again, I have been on for 2 hours. So I think I am going to meander off. The crochet is highly contagious. But as I say, because I designed this guy, I had to see that I could redo, figure out what I'd done in the past and make a pattern out of it. And I have to see how well I can teach online. Oh, you're welcome, Kel. You're welcome. I love sharing my craft space. I really do. I'm going to write out the pattern. I just have to make sure that I can do it so that people can read it. But thanks. I'm going to try, finish unraveling this. I have to go see what's happening with the grandson and his vehicle, or if he needs mine again. You know, dealing with family stuff. So I do have patience sometimes. But thanks for coming. Hugs to you all. I'm going to finish this little guy up and take a picture and put him on the my group in Facebook, and I will put the written pattern in my group in Facebook and down below. So it's going to take an hour or so before I get that done. And thanks for watching very, very much. I really appreciate you being here. And I'm on again Friday, unless we're doing a crochet along tomorrow. Kellyanne, Cal, are you still here? I guess not. Anyway, you're welcome, Sherry. If anybody ever has problems with crocheting, I'm always available to give you a hand. And what I've done with Pam and Kellyanne is we do a StreamYard so that I can see what they're doing. So just give me a heads up if something like that needs to happen, and we'll make it work. Thanks again. See you guys on Friday. Bye. Lost my mouse. Where's my mouse? There it is.